Welcome to part 2 of my cell videos. We're going to talk a little bit more about cells, and we're going to do one more framing without a 3D box this time. So I thought I'd just show one of the cheaper cells that I got. Now this is Sakura from Urusei Yatsura. A lot of my cells are from Urusei Yatsura. Not all of them though. I do have some Ranma ones and another one which I'll show you in a minute. Now this one here has more or less had the right thing done to it. Because if you don't have a good plastic cover between the cell and the genga, which is the keyframe, you should at least put them on opposite sides. So there you see there's the genga that matches the cell. On opposite sides, because a lot of the time people put them right underneath each other, and because paint gets old, it wears, it either chips or it melts a little bit and catches onto the plastic, then you have to peel it off, which basically ruins the genga. And I have an example of that. So I'll just take it out of the plastic because I do know it is quite reflective. Very tempted just to take these bloody gloves off, but I will persevere for the time being. Now, as I said, cells are quite durable actually, so long as you don't cut them, but the paint on them does melt. So there you go, the cell and the genga and the keyframe. Offset them. The great thing about cells is that you can put them basically, you know, they're see-through, so you can put them behind kind of any situation, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. Now, this is an example of a cell that hasn't been taken care of very well. So this is Ataru and Mendo from, once again, Urusei Yatsura. Don't worry, the next cell is not from Urusei Yatsura. I am Father Lum, so that's why I have so many Urusei Yatsura cells. I'll actually just take my gloves off for this one, because I'll need to use my finger dexterity. There you go. So this cell was only about 1,500 yen, about 17 Australian dollars, 13 American dollars, I suppose. You got Ataru running away from Mendo with a sword, kind of cool. I like any cell with Ataru in it, especially if he's cheesed off Mendo. Now here is the genga. Now, if it looks a bit monted, looks a bit off, looks a bit torn, well, that's because it was stuck to the back of this one. I tried my best. All those white marks there are the paper. I tried my best to get it off. A lot of people will say leave it on there, don't touch it, which I also kind of agree with. The problem is I was doing such a good job at separating them and then it went wrong. Now this is, unsurprisingly, 2 cells. You'll notice that the genga only has Mendo in it, whereas the cell is actually 2. You've got Ataru in the front cell and Mendo in the background. Now, these 2 cells have stuck together. Now, with the genga, you can kind of get away with it because you can't see the stuck genga here, and I got mostly, kind of did a bit of a good job on that one. Sorry, it's a bit bright there. However, do not, under any circumstances, separate a cell from a cell if they're stuck, because it will ruin the paint. You take those things apart and you'll have to line them up again, and then flakes will come off and it will never look exactly right. So if they're stuck, like this one is, leave it. All right, and as I said, the great thing about cells before is that you can just kind of do whatever you want with them. There you go, she's just totally sick of their shit right there. What are you kids doing? All right, so that's a bit of talk on how to look after your cells. Now we are going to do another framing. This is not a 3D photo box. This is just 3D photo frame. This is just a normal frame. Now it's the same dimensions as the other one. It is 8 by 10 inches or 20 by 25 centimeters in the window. Now this white bit around here, that's inside the frame but also not part of the window, is called the mat board. The mat board is really what you want here, and the reason is because when you put something into a frame, you can hide the little holes and production numbers which appear up the top. Now, if you want to display those, I completely understand. There are frames that are just basically clear glass. I should be wearing my gloves, I know I'm bad. Clear gloves, clear frame with magnets on it, which can hold it, and they still look good. But in this particular case, I've decided to put this one in a frame. Now, this is Eru from Kabocha Wine, which is another popular anime. It went for about 50 episodes, I think, back in the 80s, around about the same time as Urusei Yatsura, and they share some of the same voice actors as well. Now, I've never come across Kabocha Wine Cel before, and to be fair, I've only recently kind of discovered the series. Only 7 episodes have been translated into English. Fortunately, I know enough Japanese that I can kind of get by. This one did not come with a genga, and I'll show you why. That is because the genga at some stage in its life, obviously, or maybe it wasn't even a genga, maybe it was just simply a piece of paper, got stuck to it. And when they tore it off, the paper got stuck too. So I can't even touch the paint here, except from the very fringes. So there was no genga, and that's okay because the cell looks fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in this frame. Once again, I'm going to put it just so, and I'm going to angle it so her extremities, she's basically centered, and you just can't see the edge of the paintwork there. Once again, it's a good idea to sticky tape this in place. Sticky tape and celluloid is okay. Now, for ones where you don't have the keyframe, genga, or a background, what I kind of do is I either try and find the scene where it's from and print something else out, or print something generic that acts as a good background. Today I just Googled anime background, and I came up with this and printed it on an A4 sheet of paper. Right? Normally what I would do is I would maybe fade this and mute the colors a little bit to make it a bit softer. But let's see how it looks. So A4, if you're going to print on A4 pages, get as close to the margins as possible, because this is very, very, very close. You need to get these pretty centered, otherwise you'll see kind of weird white lines either way. So there you go, that's actually quite nice. I kind of like the green background against her kind of more tan and brownish colors on her, so I will keep that in there. Alright, so once again we're going to have to use some, I've run out of sticky tape. Alright, so we will try and get this down as far and as wide as we can. I think that's about right. Let's just check. Perfect. Okay. We'll just tear that one in half. We only really need a little piece there just to keep it in place. There we go. Now, whoops. What have I done wrong here? Obviously, there we go. Sometimes the mat board and the frame become disaligned. Just put that back in. This is one of the easy ones where you can just kind of slide the hooks underneath. Last one. And there you go. My very first Kabocha Wine Cel. I think it looks quite nice. Check this out if you haven't seen it, even though there's only 7 episodes translated. It's just a nice kind of love story. Right, I'm Andrew Yoshimura, aka Father Lum. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And if you want me to do any more videos like this, let me know, and I will certainly endeavour to do so. See ya!